Hey everybody, it's David and Jen here with David Christophers, and we're coming to you today with a little bit different episode. We're going to show you a tulip farm that we visited with our boys just a few days ago.
That gave me a respiratory infection.
Yes, David has an upper respiratory infection, so he sounds kind of like Darth Vader right now.
It's a little wheezy.
A little wheezy.
Yeah.
But he's on the mend. He got a couple of shots.
Yeah.
And feeling better, hopefully.
We're going to make it happen.
Yes. So today we're actually going to show you a couple of different things. We're going to show you the farm that we visited. If you love tulips, you're going to love the farm. We're also going to show you something that you can do with our tulips that are our silk tulips or faux tulips.
Faux tulips.
And then David is going to show you some of the fresh flowers that we got from the farm, and I think he has a little bit of an idea of just what he wants to do with those.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to scavenge some things at home because we live kind of out in the woods, and I'm going to cut some things that'll go with some of our fresh tulips that we brought back from the farm.
Yay! So it's exciting. Let's get started. I don't know why I waved.
I don't either.
It's not goodbye.
I was like, should I be waving?
It's hello.
Here we are today in the historic tulip fields of King Louis XV in Anjou, France. Today we're going to be doing quite an excellent viewing of all these wonderful tulips that have been laid out. Although far from its former glory, it still has quite an array of different floral things that might suit your desire, such as tulips. Tulips of many colors, more specifically. It was rumored that King Henry V was in love with tulips so much that he had them everywhere in his house. Or his royal house, I should say, his palace. In Versailles, a lot of the more floral architecture is based off of this fantastic tulip designs that we often will see in these fields. They were so beloved by him that it was reported that at least 5 times a week he would come to view and oversee the growing and cultivating of these flowers.
So I'm actually going to be using our Tulip Bushes. These work great for if you need to fill up some things that make it look like kind of a tulip field. These work fantastically well. They do have kind of a hard piece in the bottom of them to hold their shape so that they don't get crushed. I'm going to be mixing kind of some pinks and creams and with our two-tone pink and cream to create our wreath here. And these are very inexpensive bunches, so it's a great thing to do if you're on a budget. So we're going to be going with one kind of continuous motion around our wreath, so pick a direction you like because you're going to be doing that direction for the entire time. And we want to make sure we just don't put a lot. You don't want to get like 4 pink tulips together in the same spot. You want to kind of vary those so that they're not all stacked together. So at this point, you could really continue going with tulips if you wanted it just super full of tulips and nothing else. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this little frosted green eucalyptus pick, and we're just going to cut these off and glue them in. So now we're finished. Just thicken this up with some of that eucalyptus pick, and so you don't see as much of the grapevine, but still get a little bit of that brown coming through, so it looks very natural. And that's pretty much it. That's one way to do a tulip wreath.
Okay, so you said that's one way to do a tulip wreath. Did you have another way in mind?
I did.
What is happening?
I'm making cotton candy over here.
Oh my goodness. You are all strung up in the glue.
You gotta save that glue. That costs money.
Oh my gosh.
Put it back in the glue pan.
Okay, so you did this wreath. You said that's one way.
Yeah.
What is your second way?
So the next way we're going to show you how to do a tulip wreath is we're going to color block. Instead of mixing all the tulips, we're actually going to do pink, cream, cream pink, pink, cream pink, kind of mixed in masses. So kind of as they would grow, you might have a clump of pink and a clump of white, a clump of something else.
Fun. Can't wait to see it.
So for this is really kind of a high-end look that is super simple to do. Because these tulip bushes come like this, we're just going to kind of curve them in the direction you want them to go. And we don't really even have to cut these apart. That's one other good thing about this. So away we go.
Okay, I'm coming in for a closer look. So you're literally just taking...
I'm taking the entire piece and cramming it into the grapevine wreath so it won't come out. And then we're just going to keep going around.
And we are using glue.
We are using glue, yes. I mean, you don't have to, but I think preferred.
So as usual, this is our electric skillet with glue chips melted in it. Into the wreath it goes. That way it will hold up should it get windy, fall off the door.
Yeah, we don't want anything coming out.
No. Mechanics are important. It needs to look pretty, but David's all about the mechanics as well. It needs to hold together and be a quality finished product. Because of course when we're making these, they're always for someone else. So we don't want that person to get home with their wreath and it start falling apart, pieces falling out of it, because it wasn't adhered to the wreath very well.
Adjust this one a little bit.
Is this the last one?
No. Close.
So that wraps up the farm and the tulip indoor activities. Let's head outside and see what David comes up with. Go outside.
This is for outside.
Outside.
The outside has to come inside and the stuff inside has to go outside.
That's what we're doing, huh?
Yeah. Into the woods to find some things for our tulips that are blooming. I thought maybe the frost didn't get the daffodils down in the valley by the creek, but it looks like they did. But we do have some little, I think this is like a little wild phlox, something like that, starting to grow. But I'm going to leave that one alone until it gets bigger. This is where we get our ivy during the summer, since this tree is just covered in ivy. And this old chimney out here in the middle of nowhere with a creek is also covered in ivy, and I just think that's the coolest thing. I think we're going to harvest a little bit of this wild fern that grows down by the creek, some of the new growth. You can see the old growth down here, and we're going to harvest a little bit of this new growth. So a pretty decent little waterfall. You can see the kids back there trying to catch up. There's a nice little waterfall, and it actually gets pretty deep right there. Alright, so we are back from the creek. I cut a couple of dogwood branches from our dogwood trees here closer to the house. And I ended up not getting a whole lot from the creek area. I thought more things would have come out, but I guess if they did, the cold weather killed them. So I did get quite a bit of this wild fern. And then I cut some boxwood off of our boxwood shrubs. Our dogs seem to be arguing. They don't know why we're in the front yard, and they're not, I guess. So we're going to use some of our boxwood and then our fern just to kind of make this work. And then I did cut some of our daffodil greens also. So we're just going to show you a couple of quick tips on scavenging for something to make a fresh flower vase with. Okay, so we did get some tulips from Hubert Family Farms, Tulip Farm, and we ended up with just a few white ones and a few red ones because we wanted this to be kind of something that you would find from your home, something that you would find in a yard, and then you just kind of scavenge a few other things to go with it. You don't have to have a lot to really make a big impact, so we're just gonna give you a couple of ideas here. And if I'm going to separate my colors out, so I ended up with 5 white ones, 5 red ones, I think. 4 red ones, looks like. So we're going to use this white vase for our red. And one thing that I will tell you that will really help you in this is that if you have a vase that's deep and you need to bring some of your flowers up out of it a little bit more, I'm going to tuck some of this boxwood down in it, and a little bit of it's going to show, but a lot of it's actually going to be deeper inside, and that's okay because it's going to help raise our tulips. The tulip foliage is going to catch on it and keep them from going all the way down inside of our vase. It may give that a little bit more water since we're going a little bit higher. I just grabbed some random vases from the store, but the boxwood will actually help hold everything together because it's got so many branches and individual leaves. It's actually going to keep things kind of placed where you put them. And you can angle these in lots of different ways, but we're just doing a little something, and then we're just gonna top it off with a little taller boxwood because I didn't end up finding a whole lot of extra stuff to work with down there. Like I said, I cut the boxwood from our house because I didn't have anything else down there. The cold really got to everything. So what we want to do is we want to keep our flowers about a little over double the height of our vase most of the time, and keep them like they're kind of pouring out. And we've only got a few to work with, so we're just making it very natural, and then we just want to get some of this boxwood spilling over the edges. On a bit of a grander scale, because our white tulips are taller, I've got our dogwood branches, and you can use pruning shears or whatever you like for this, but we're going to let some of our branches be a little bit long here, and it's going to take a couple of them before we really get some shape going. But really what you want to do is go in kind of alternating sides, and what that's going to do is that's really going to help hold everything together, and I'll show you why. Because everything's going to want to kind of tend to twist in the direction it goes, but once you get enough in there, it will start to stabilize. So we're going to put our last piece in. This really branchy, wispy structure is really going to work well for our tulips because they're going to hold our tulips in place wherever you need them to go. So if you're looking for a way to create some structure without using something like foam, if you've got a glass vase like this, this is really an excellent way to give you some support and some structure without giving you the foam at the bottom that you really don't want to see. And ordinarily I would cut these again, but I don't want to cut more off of them than I have to, and because I need the height. And we picked them out of the ground, so they do have a little dirt on them. Should have washed them off a little bit. I was picking things out of the woods.
All natural right here.
All natural, yeah. And then we're going to use some of this fern, just to kind of, because it's very light and wispy, and that's going to work really well with our branches. We just want to make sure we go all the way into the vase, into the water, so that they have water source. Tulips will soak up a lot of water, so you need to remember to be sure to keep those really, really watered constantly. I think Spencer's kind of didn't make it.
Oh no! He really liked this dark purple color.
Isaiah liked this more French style tulip.
I love
it's kind
the
of
French
that
style one
pink
too. It's pretty.
with the coral.
This would be very pretty for a wedding or event.
Or if you're just having some people over for dinner,
Yeah.
this would be a great little, you know, something that came out of your yard that you didn't go through tons of trouble. Just wash off the tulips before you put them in water. I couldn't really afford the to make them any shorter. So, last thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little something that you can kind of do if you don't have a lot of flowers and you want to go with kind of a more minimalist style. Is we're going to layer some of our daffodil foliages, because our daffodils did not make it.
How sad.
They kind of didn't make it through the frost.
They were so pretty.
They were. We had a whole bunch of them this year. They just keep multiplying every year. I guess they do that.
They popped out ready for spring, and then winter.
We had like a few really warm days, and then all of a sudden it was like, nope. So we're just going to spiral this in our vase, letting a little bit of it come out. Get a little bit more.
So fancy.
So fancy. And with this, we're really, you know, we really don't have to have a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to place a couple of things kind of inside this vase. I'm going to try and salvage Spencer and Isaiah's tulips here. You know, if you had a few that were wilting, such as
that
this,
one's pitiful.
yeah, then I would place some color down inside the vase and put some water in this, and that way, if your stem's trying to die on you, that's perfectly okay, because you're going to have the structure of the grass kind of holding them up where you want them. That's just kind of a good example of how you can put things inside of a vase that will really give them structure, so that when you place things, they go more where you want them to, instead of just willy-nilly.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know today's video was a little non-traditional. Let us know how you liked it. We just decided to play in the fresh flowers for a little bit. Although we don't sell fresh flowers, They are in bloom, and we thought you all may have some in your own gardens at home that you want to take and spruce up. We do sell the containers, and we also, as you saw earlier, we have the tulips that David made the wreath with.
Yeah.
That we do sell. So if you check out the description box, you're going to see a link to the collection of items that was used in today's video that we do sell. But go look in your own woods, forest, yard, lawn, whatever word you use to describe the outside of your home. Go look there, and you might be surprised at what you can find to spruce up your place.
Yeah, you can just take a few, like these have 5 tulips in them, and we just got the rest out of our yard.
So much fun. So until next time, we hope you have a wonderful week, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.